Hi, boys and girls, day 14. With his rubber sword in his right hand, Patch was the last in the procession of Oddkins as they made their way through another arm of the woods onto a narrow meadow and down the open grassy slope towards the main highway. He repeatedly looked behind them, guarded the rear, and he almost wished that some evil toy would appear so they could engage in a satisfying fencing match. Though the others dreaded the journey to the city, Patch rather looked forward to it. He liked excitement and in action. He was a scaler of walls and leaper of gulfs and swordsman without superior. Uncle Isaac, his creator, had given Patch a taste for adventure, and now Patch was looking forward to this night's encounters with danger. However, he was not looking forward to getting his clothes dirty. He'd never imagined that adventuring could be such a filthy affair. Already his boots were dusty, and scuffed. He took some comfort from the fact that, as a cat, his night vision was better than that of his friends, so they could not see the mournful condition of his boots as clearly as he could. But somehow he had also acquired a spot of dirt on the left sleeve of his cream-colored shirt, and bits of grass and dead leaves clung to his trousers. He longed for a chance to stop and groom himself, but Amos led them through the woods and down the open sloping meadow without pause. They were still more than 50 yards from the highway when the sky exploded with a series of lightning blasts, and thunder shook the night, and the rain came at last abruptly. The hard downpour flattened the meadow grass. The drumming noise was almost deafening. In seconds, Patch's clothes were soaked. With horror, he realized that the dry earth would quickly turn to mud, and that his dashing costume would be increasingly soiled as the long night wore on. Patch the cat was not afraid of either known dangers or the unknown. Evil toys, wild dogs, and other villains did not worry him in the least. But to be seen in wet and filthy clothes with a soggy hat and mud caked on his boots, now that was frightening to him. Victor Bodkins had taken a flashlight from the glove compartment of his car, and he had ventured into the glooming woods to search for the 6 stuffed animals that had crossed the road in his headlight beams. Here and there he found signs that might have indicated that the small creatures had passed this way, or trampled grass and broken weeds, curious marks on the soft earth, but he could not get a glimpse of the toys themselves. "You're dreaming," he told himself as he poked among the trees. "Pinch yourself and wake up." So he pinched himself. But he did not wake up. He pinched himself again, harder than before. "Ouch!" he said. He still did not wake up. He pinched himself again. "Ouch!" And yet again, "Ouch!" He was a stubborn man. When rain began to fall, the leafless trees did not provide much of an umbrella, and soon he was soaked. Shivering, sneezing, feeling foolish, he headed back towards the lane, where the car waited with its engine running and the lights blazing. As he stepped onto the dirt roadway, he thought he saw movement out of the corner of his eye. Something scurried in a narrow drainage channel 20 feet away. He rushed to that place, but his light revealed only a trickle of muddy water. He stepped across the ditch in the weeds along the perimeter of the woods, and as he moved, he swept the beam of flashlight back and forth, and suddenly he saw something even stranger than the 6 stuffed animals. It was a 14-inch tall toy robot with evil yellow eyes aglow with menace and nasty mouth cracked open in a wicked, jagged smile. It was standing half concealed by a clump of dead, dry, drooping milkweed, looking up defiantly at Victor. He stooped and leaned down. He leaned forward to pick up the robot, but it moved more swiftly than he would have thought possible, dashing under his arm. Beaded with rain, his metal skin glinted in the flashlight beam. The creature went straight to his feet, where it hammered both metal fists on the toe of his left shoe. He never would have imagined that a toy could possess such strength. The blows were hard and painful. As Victor stumped backwards in surprise, he felt something grab hold of the right leg of his trousers. When he looked down, he saw a tuxedo marionette with a top hat, but minus control strings, grinning ferociously at him. "I've gone mad," he said, "stark raving mad." The marionette pulled hard on the trousers. Because Victor was already off balance, he almost fell. Another marionette, a vile-looking little woman in a flapper's costume from the 1920s, seized the other leg of his pants and pulled hard in that direction. Victor swatted at the male marionette, then at the female, trying to use his flashlight like a club. He missed both of them. The robot pounded on Victor's toes again, and the new burst of thunder was timed to the toy's blows, so it seemed as if the thing's fist had made the colossal sound. Victor kicked out, knocked the small metal man aside. Suddenly, a grotesque, clown-faced Jack-in-the-Box rolled out of the weeds, propelling himself with gloved hands. He was giggling shrilly and hysterically. "Bring him down! Bring him down!" the Jack-in-the-Box cried. "Bring him down to our level!" Streaking out of the rain-swept darkness, a toy bee the size of a can swooped past Victor's face, startling him. In the backsplash of his own flashlight, he saw a stinger as big as a knife. A moment later, when he realized that the bee was dive-bombing him, he threw himself to the ground to avoid being stabbed. He felt the bee bullet by his head, missing his face only by an inch. The instant he hit the ground, he began to thrash with both arms and legs to keep the hostile toys away. He heard one of the impossible little creatures say, "Leave him! Come on! The Oddkins will be heading down the highway. We've got to stop them." Victor continued thrashing till he was exhausted. But at last he lay limp on the wet ground. He was still half expected to be attacked. But the robot, the marionettes, the Jack-in-the-Box, and the bee were gone. He was alone in the stormy night. His heart hammering, he got to his feet. He was shaky. He picked up his flashlight and swept the beam around. Nothing. He looked at the woods into which the toys had eventually gone, and he considered pursuing them. Then he turned and ran back to his car, fearing both for his life and his sanity. In the car, he locked the doors, and he sat there in the middle of the muddy lane, staring through the rain-washed windshield at the portion of the roadway in the woods that were revealed in his headlamps. He could not stop shaking. He pinched himself. Ouch! And again, ouch! He could not make sense of these events. They did not compute. He was a man of reason, a man of logic, a man who worked with numbers and trusted numbers. He loved numbers. There was no surprises in numbers, no magic, no mystery. He preferred life without magic and mystery. He did not know how he would cope if he discovered that the world was actually more like Uncle Isaac had always seen it, and less like the ordered and logical place that Victor had believed it to be. Ouch! Just one more pinch. Ouch! Just one more. Ouch! And that's it for today. Have a great day.